Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. So in today's video I'm going to take a look at a request that I've had in the comments on YouTube, and it's to look a bit deeper into the RWR. I did do a video quite a while back where I touched on some of the RWR functions, but in this video I'm going to try and take a bit of a deeper look into it, as well as the ARAD screen and HARM missiles. So I made a mission for this. If you want to play this mission, let me know. Tell me in the comments and I'll add it to the Steam Workshop and add some instructions. At the moment there's no real instructions to this, but it should help me show off the RWR and ARAD functions for you. So without further ado, let me get you set up so you can see what I see, and then we'll start the mission. Okay then, so here we are in the cockpit view, and first of all I'm just going to bring up the equipment screen and just show you that most of the ordnance that we are taking are HARM missiles, HARM. That stands for High Speed Anti-Radiation Missile. So we've got the AGM-88, which is medium range, and we've got the AGM-126, which is short range. And we've also got a couple of AIM-120s because to show off the RWR, I put some air targets in as well. I did say that this is ARAD as well as RWR. So first of all, we've got the mini MFD screen at the top for the RWR. So we make sure this is turned on and the RWR is on. We've also got a dial down here for the RWR, and this is basically for you can turn the whole thing off, as we see there on the screen, but we can also mute. So if you don't want to listen to the pings on the RWR, you can mute the RWR as well. So you'll still get a visual display, just no sound. And also we want to bring up the ARAD screen. This is Anti-Radiation Attack Display. That's our ARAD screen. We also want to make this SOI. This is our centre of interest because we're going to be using this to fire. And the ARAD screen is going to show a similar display to the RWR. It's going to give you the short codes for the radar signals that it's picking up. So if I picked up a SAM site, for instance, on here, and it was DS, it would show me a few more icons on the RWR, but I would still get the same DS icon on the ARAD, and that's telling me what kind of signal it's picking up. So that's us set up for the mission. Let's take her out and get started. Tower, this is Alpha 1-1 requesting takeoff.
Copy. Taxi to runway 25.
Copy. Taxiing to runway 25, Alpha 1-1. Let's get ourselves off the airbase. So as I said, I have made this mission specifically for RWR. It is a training mission, so if you do want to have a go at the mission, do let me know in the comments, and I'll put some instructions in the mission about the RWR, and I'll post it. This mission obviously is live on my workshop page. If you wanted to have just a play around with the RWR, you
Alpha
can follow along with what I've done.
Tower, cleared for takeoff at runway 25.
Roger, clear for takeoff, runway 25, Alpha 1-1. Sails lined up, flaps, and it's good. Let us go. Something else that's advisable as well. I mean, this is something that you should be doing in the FA-26 anyway. If you're not doing this, you're kind of limiting yourself. Rotate, 10-degree climb. Here and flaps up. So yes, something that we should be doing is having the visor down, because the visor has the helmet-mounted queuing system, which is here, HMCS. And if I put that on, you'll see that it gives us extra display window. So rather than just seeing through the hood, we see my my waypoint disappeared. With the visor down, which you can do here or on your helmet, you can see it gives the HUD display in 360-degree view. And that can help because radar sources will show up as a tall diamond shape. So you can actually see radar sources, which is helpful. Not only will we pick them up on the RWR, but we'll be able to pick them out with the Mark 1 eyeball as well. So I'm just going to cruise over to here. Next, I'm going to put the weapons systems on, and I'm going to just change this to the AGM-88 first. And you see now I've got the weapon selected. We get an arc on screen, and this is the firing arc. So basically, it's how much it can turn off the rails. The 126 has got a much wider firing arc, so it's more manoeuvrable, but it's short range. So for this one, we just need the AGM-88s. And there we go, there's the diamond, there's my first radar source. So first of all, I can see on here it says SR, and I know from experience SR is the simple SAM fire. What do they call it now? It's the basic SAM site radar, SR SAM radar, I remember that as. It's also in a diamond shape, which means it's the priority radar source. We'll get to that later. And it has this semicircle on top, which means it's a new radar source. So it's basically the first time I have seen this SAM radar source. Now I'm turning round, you can also see I'm getting it here on the ARAD. So if I just slew over, again we are soy here and I'm using the thumbstick to slew. If I slew over and target it, you can see that we get a square around it now. Now it's targeted. But the lock reticle is still in the middle of the HUD. So if I just start bringing this round, once we get the whole SR inside this arc, we should see the target reticle snap to our target. So I'm just coming right, and there we go. And I got my shoot cue as well, so straighten her up and Alpha 1-1 Magnum. Magnum is the brevity code for anti-radiation missiles. Now I'm going to speed up. Anti-radiation missiles are fire and forget, so I could turn cold, which is usually a good idea to do when you're shooting against radar. But I do want to try and get locked up by this radar to show you something else as well on the RWR. So hopefully we get there and it launches before our missile destroys it. Something that you can do to help you along on this is set the S-cam to follow the missile and set it in chase. That way you can actually see the progress of the missile. 10 miles out and I'm not getting locked up though, which is very surprising. There we go, so now I'm locked up, you can see we get a full circle, and that means that radar source is tracking me. Now it's turned to red, that means it's locked onto me. And I can see the missile in the air there, so I'm just going to pull out of the way. My missile hit the SAM site, so now the SAM site's destroyed. It can't maintain lock, the missile is trash. Now we have two radar sources. We have SR, which is our SAM radar, and we also have DS, which is the advanced SAM radar, and I remember that as dish site. DS. Now we can see that DS has got an arc over it because this is a new radar source. The SR, we've already seen that radar source before, so we no longer have the arc over the top. We know that radar signature. However, because this one is closer, if we look at the distance arcs, this SR is closer to us at the moment, so it's telling me that that is the priority radar source. This is the most dangerous radar source. It's the most likely to get lock on me. These are pretty much the same radar, it's just that the DS radar has 360-degree scan, it has a dish turning round, where the SAM fire control radar is just a flat-fronted radar, it only has a 60-degree cone. Because I'm getting close to this one as well, I'm going to change to the AGM 126s, I'll lock up, and you see I get a shoot target, and now we've got closer to this one, this is now showing us that this is the priority target. So off goes the 126, and again, much more manoeuvrable, better at short range. There's nothing underneath these SAM sites, so there's nothing going to shoot at me. So, once the advanced site's destroyed, there we go. We'll move on to our next target. Now our next target is a MAD 4 going to want the AGM 85s for this. Let's get a bit of speed and a bit of height, because I can just see there in my distance there is a mountain between me and that M4, that Mad 4. That's for a reason. So I'll get a bit of height, and the Mad 4 should pop up on the RWR soon. There it is. Once again, it's a new radar source, so it gets the arc over the top. It's the priority. It's the only one on there, so it's going to be the priority because there's nothing else. However, if there was maybe a dish sight, because the Mad 4 radar is a stronger radar, it could show that up as priority. It's basically going to try and show you what's the most dangerous radar source that's being picked up. So I'm just going to lock up because my AGM 88s, again, I can fire from a long distance. Now a Mad 4 could pick me up from here and it could track me, but because I'm going directly at it, it's getting my lowest profile.
Shoot.
So there we go, I get my shoot source. Oh, it's actually shot a missile. I can see smoke in the air, so
me, I'm evading.
I need to dive. And there we go, we got the M. There goes the missile after the wingman, and he evaded it. But basically what I was trying to show is that a missile with an onboard radar source will show up as a red M on here. That's if you see the red M on here, be very wary of it, because that's an active radar missile in scan mode, or possibly locked onto somebody else, but usually it's in scan mode. That's why you're picking up the radar source. If it's a red M in a circle, it's now locked onto you, and we've got smoke in the air.
Missile on me, I'm evading.
So there's the red M once again, so it picked up the radar source while that missile was scanning. Now the Mad 4 is gone. My wingman just about evaded that, well done sir. The Mad 4 is now gone. So that was an active radar missile. I've set that to active radar missile, and you've got to be very wary with the Mad 4 because it can show you as being tracked while a missile is in the air. It will only show an active radar missile once the missile has gone pitbull on you. So if an M4 is tracking you for more than 4 or 5 seconds, break line of sight, don't fly straight at it, there is a missile probably coming at you. If it's active radar, that is. If it's semi-active, which most of the rest of these are, break line of sight, the missile's trash. But when you have an active radar missile, it can, because it does have onboard radar, it can pick you up once again. So watch out for those red M's on your RWR. Next we've got DC, which is a cruiser. I class this as a drone cruiser. Now there are two types of this. There's a missile cruiser and the drone cruiser. Both are pretty much the same ship. One fires missiles, the other fires drones. So let's go for the 126. And again, all I'm trying to do here is take out its radar. I'm not going to destroy the ship, I'm just going to take out its radar, because without radar it can't lock missiles, which means it can't fire. And again, I'm not being picked up on radar very easily, so let's, there we go, give it a big radar source. I'm being tracked, I'm being locked, and I'm being locked by the radar source. That's why it's flashing red. If it was an active radar missile, oh there we go, we destroyed its radar. If it was an active radar missile, it would just show as being tracked, because the tracking unit is passing that information to its unit. There we go, pick me up again.
Missile on me, I'm evading.
126 didn't work, so let's try another one. It does have Sea-Wiz on board.
Missile trash, that was a close one.
It does have Sea-Wiz on board, so it can shoot your missiles down. Now this next exercise is showing you how to pick out targets. So you see here I've got F+, which is the advanced fighter. I've also got standard fighters, which is just the F. There. We can see that it's taking that as priority target, so let me just get the AIM 120s on and let's get our radar going, because I just want to shoot there we go, it's showing up in the centre now. So now I've lost it again. So this can be a good way to track these advanced strike fighters, because I'm going to pick up its radar source much easier than my radar can pick it up. And again, this mission is to just kill the advanced strike fighter. Oh, missile on me.
Chap over there. Chap over there.
Missile on me, I'm evading.
The red M popped up again there for a second. I think my missile was trashed there.
Shoot.
Missile trashed, I'm re-engaging.
Nope, there we go, he's hit. So again, what I didn't show there was an air target. Also has, I call it the hat, but you see where we have a diamond here on a priority target. Air targets will have a chevron above them to show that they're flying. I will show you that again shortly. Now, this unit, SA, is the SAW, Self-propelled anti-air weapon. Self-propelled anti-air weapon, SA. So, once again, let's get our AGMs
Shoot.
on him. We can pick him up from a distance. Now, the SAW
Shoot.
doesn't have long-range missiles, it's got short-range, so I don't necessarily need the AGM-88s for these, but we'll throw one out there anyway. Now notice I lost its radar source, but as long as I had a lock when I fired the missile is going to continue to where that radar source was last picked up, basically. So maybe not great for moving vehicles, but stationary targets, perfectly fine to shoot the harm missiles. Now, there we got another one on here. We've got an A, and that is for anti-aircraft, AAA, basically. So we see down here, AAA does have a radar because it tracks using the radar. Again, we had the semicircle over the top because it's a new type of radar source, and it made it the priority. It was the most dangerous. The 126 will do for these. In fact, I could probably just go guns on these, but I dropped those in so, again, we could just see the radar source and what the RWR is trying to show us. Okay, let's go in for a gun run. The AAA can be difficult to shoot with harm missiles, just because of they do scan very closely.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
So you have to get pretty close
Pull up. Charge flare.
to destroy them. Now, at the end of this mission, I can just land and that's the end of the mission. But I've actually added all the enemy units over here that have a radar source. So you can fly over and you can basically have a look at the short codes, what they're giving off, and basically identify the craft and try and get an idea of these codes yourself. I'm quite far away, so it's basically on the edge of the screen, everything's clumped up, but as we fly over them, they do start to spread out. So first of all, we've got AE, and that is the enemy AWACS. So usually if there is an E in the code, that stands for electronic warfare. And at the moment, we've got the E4, which is a friendly AWACS, and the AE, which is the enemy AWACS. Again, we've got two DCs here, so drone cruiser. We have the missile cruiser and the drone launching cruiser. SA is a SAW. We've got a fighter flashing up here, so this is the basic fighter. I do want to try and get one of the fighters on here. You can kind of see one here with a chevron. The AE as well, again it's flying, so we can pick this up. So we see AE here as it comes back up. Has the chevron, kind of. Not easy to pick it out. DF is a drone fighter. So this is the unmanned drone, DF. I can't remember what HC is. I think that's the carrier. And then this one, you see we've got two on top of each other. So this is the super cruiser, and it's got MR and I think LR or ML and LR. I think one stands for long range. but that's generally the cruiser, the larger cruiser. So we have a SAR, we've got the unmanned aerial, no, this is a standard ASF-30 down here, that's the fighter. And we're coming up on a large cruiser here in front of us, if I just lock it up. In fact, we can get low because these are all set to not target, so you can get in and have a good look at these. And like I said, when we fly past this, you'll see it has 2 radars on top. There's actually 2 diamonds on top of each other on this one, where you can kind of tell it's a thicker line. Now we're coming in, we can actually see the 2 separate radar sources as we're flying past. So you would have to destroy both radar sources on that one to take it out. Let's fly past our basic DC here, drone cruiser. Again, this is the missile cruiser that we're flying over. And again, just 1 radar source on the top. Take out that radar, those missiles are useless. Coming up here on our last DC drone cruiser. And again, you can see by all the red marks on the front that this fires the air drones, the unmanned aerial vehicles. Again, same ship, just slightly different what's on deck.
Over T. Over T. Over T.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure this one, HC, is the carrier. Yeah, that was the carrier over there. Who have we got here? We're flying behind them, so we don't actually pick up their radar source. Obviously, to be able to get this information, you need to be picking up that vehicle's radar source. And I did want to try and show you, I don't know how easy this is going to be, but you can actually use the AGM-126s against aircraft that are hot. So if you're head on to an aircraft and they're showing up on the screen here, the AGM-126 as a last resort, because it's not that manoeuvrable, but you can use it against a radar source. So let's try and pick up, there's the drone fighter, where are you? Where did I pick that guy up? Oh, he's disappeared.
Shoot.
Oh, there we go, that's an AGM-126. Don't think it's going to connect? No. So as I say, it only really works when you're head on, just because they're not very manoeuvrable. But you can shoot an AGM-126 at a flying radar source. So there we go, there's a bit more advanced or in-depth look at the RWR and anti-radiation systems. So hopefully you will find that useful. If there's anything else that you'd like to know about the game, do just drop it in the comments. I do try and make these videos as often as I can, but I do have a full-time job, IRL, and other things going on as well, so I don't have as much time as I'd like to dedicate to this. But as I say, if there are anything that I haven't covered or you'd like to cover in more depth, do just let me know. I just want to say again, another big thanks to everybody that supports me, that subscribes, that pops in on the Discord, chats, all those kind of things. It is nice talking to you. I do appreciate all the support. I do appreciate all the nice words. So thank you very much for everybody that's either left comments or subscribed or hit that like. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.